March 7th of this year, Representative Walter Jones of North Carolina introduced House Resolution 107 into the United States Congress. The resolution states, whereas the cornerstone of the Republic is honoring Congress's exclusive power to declare war under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 of the Constitution, now therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives, the Senate concurring, that it is the sense of Congress that, except in response to an actual or imminent attack against the territory of the United States, the use of offensive military force by a president without prior and clear authorization of an act of Congress violates Congress's exclusive power to declare war under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 of the Constitution. Jones intended his resolution to express the sense of Congress that the use of offensive military force by a president without the prior and clear authorization of an act of Congress constitutes an impeachable, high crime misdemeanor under Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution. Why does President Barack Obama deserve to be impeached? Here are 4 reasons.
Doing little or nothing at all will result in even greater deficits, even greater job loss, even greater loss of income.
1. The Obama administration not only endorsed the 2008 bailout policy, the funds from which did not go either to homeowners or for taxpayers' protection, but rather to the consolidation of private banks, many of them in Europe. There was no investment of any meaningful type in the physical economy. There was no protection of the American people, but rather an illegal commitment made on behalf of private banking institutions to commit the American people to paying a debt that the American people did not accrue. The trillions of dollars that were pledged to the private banking sector are backed by the assets belonging to the American people. This combines to represent the most clear violation of the principle of the general welfare in the preamble to the Constitution of the United States.
I also want to be clear about what we will not be doing. The United States is not going to deploy ground troops into Libya.
U.S. boots are reportedly on the ground in Libya.
2. The Obama administration conducted a war in Libya which it claimed it did not conduct, with American forces that it claimed were not involved, to the purpose of overthrowing and then executing a head of a sovereign state, who was held in the custody of insurgent forces financed and militarily supported by the United States, France, Britain, and other NATO countries. This was done despite the fact that the United States was neither attacked nor threatened with attack by the nation of Libya. Only the Congress, not the President, has the authority under the Constitution to declare war. But the Obama administration believes that it has that authority.
Do you think that you can act without Congress and initiate a no-fly zone in Syria without congressional approval?
The administration recently asserted that its actions are above the laws of the United States in an exchange between Obama Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta and Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama.
Our goal would be to seek international permission, and we would come to the Congress and inform you and determine how best to approach this, whether or not we would want to get permission from the Congress. I think those are issues we would have to discuss as we decide what to do here.
What I heard you say is we're going to seek international approval, and then we'll come and tell the Congress what we might do.
The Obama administration, thus, does not believe that the Congress has the exclusive power to declare war, and accordingly, the President should be impeached.
Let me welcome Prime Minister Cameron to the United States of New York. Obviously, there is an extraordinarily special relationship.
3. The Obama administration sides with the imperial power of Great Britain, and proudly so, in what has been called the special relationship. Through that special relationship, the United States, as a result of the false intelligence advocated by Tony Blair, claimed that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction and conducted a preventive war against Iraq in 2003. Preventive war was declared a crime against humanity by the Nuremberg Statutes of 1947. But now, on March 13th of this year, Barack Obama and David Cameron declared their intention to seek the removal of the Syrian regime of President Bashar al-Assad, a regime that has shown no intent of threatening or attacking the United States Republic. This shows Obama's intent to continue a policy of war, for the commission of which the Nazis were sentenced to death at Nuremberg. If President Obama intends to finance, arm, or in any way militarily support the rebel factions against the president of Syria, he has a constitutional requirement to approach the Congress for a declaration of war. 4. President Obama has committed us as a country to a policy of indefinite warfare, including on American soil. On December 31st, 2011, Barack Obama signed into law the 2012 National Defense Authorization Act, which includes provisions that state that Congress affirms that the authority of the President to use all necessary and appropriate force pursuant to the authorization for use of military force includes the authority for the armed forces of the United States to detain covered persons pending disposition under the law of war. When Congress defined such covered persons, exempting U.S. citizens from the language, they were rebuked by the Obama administration, which told them to remove U.S. citizens from being precluded. Thus, as a result, U.S. citizens can also be detained by the U.S. military indefinitely without due process or civilian trial. This now allows the United States military to arrest and detain without trial American citizens who are deemed enemy combatants. It abrogates the Constitution of the United States in the 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments, the right of the people to be secure in their persons against unreasonable searches and seizures, and that no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentiment or indictment of a grand jury, and that the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury. All of these rights have been abandoned by the United States under President Barack Obama. Further, the President asks the country to believe him when he says that he will not use his power of the executive towards the arrest of U.S. citizens pursuant to the NDAA of 2012. However, the executive branch has already ordered the execution of an American citizen in November of 2011. The Obama administration has already assassinated an American citizen, Anwar al-Awlaki, who was never tried in absentia, but was simply indicted by a secret court, according to the executive branch, who then ordered his assassination, a murder which also included that of his son, a 16-year-old boy, and a family friend. Considering the president's willingness to assassinate American citizens, are we really ready to entrust him with the power to indefinitely detain U.S. citizens in the course of so-called combat? After all, our Constitution promises the trial of all crimes, except in cases of impeachment, shall be by jury, and such trial shall be held in the state where the said crimes shall have been committed. Now is the time. If we choose to surrender our republic to the machinations of dictatorship for fear of external threats, terrorism, and other amorphous enemies, then we do not deserve the republic which was given to us by our forefathers and promised to us based on the pledge that it is a republic of the people, by the people, and for the people. Consequently, as a republic belonging to us, we are not accountable to the President and the Congress. They are accountable to us. And should the President presume dictatorial powers, regardless of the state of war that he may claim we are now in, he must respond to our demands to protect American citizens from unauthorized illegal detention by the military and to annul this National Defense Authorization Act of 2012. And if he does not do so, then he deserves to be impeached immediately. But if we say nothing today, where will we be tomorrow?
Ask yourselves, what are you doing in this time of great challenge? What are you doing to unlock minds? Go to Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv for the latest headlines and cutting-edge information.
One of her passions, public service work, led her to leave what could have been a lucrative career in law for public service. But making lots of money was never her goal. Within months after her husband was sworn in as U.S. Senator, Michelle Obama received a pay increase of $195,000 from the not-for-profit hospital where she works. At the same time, she was put on the board of directors of Treehouse and Bay Valley Foods, where between her compensation as a part-time director and profits from her stock options have put another $100,000 into her pockets. Barack Obama tells us he's fighting to make health care more affordable. He didn't tell us that his wife is one of 13 vice presidents at a not-for-profit hospital that in 2005 reported earnings of over $100 million, in part by charging uninsured minorities 3.5 times as much as whites with insurance for the exact same care. In July of 2006, Senator Obama told a group of college activists, "You'll have boundless opportunities when you graduate, and it's very easy to just take that diploma, forget about all this progressive politics stuff, and go chasing after the big house and the large salary." What he told the Chicago Sun-Times only after an embarrassing investigation into the purchase of his stately $1.65 million mansion. U.S. Senator Barack Obama expressed regret late Friday for his 2005 land purchase from now indicted political fundraiser Antoine Tony Rezko. He tells a union group that opposes the amount of compensation paid to the CEO of Walmart that there is a moral responsibility to stand up and fight for a better economic future with adequate wages, health care, and retirement benefits. In 2005, the CEO of Walmart received $10.5 million in total compensation. What he didn't tell the union members was in that same year, the CEO of Treehouse Foods received $26 million in total compensation, a company whose revenues were 409 times less than Walmart's. Maybe because he's embarrassed over the fact his wife sits on the board of directors of Treehouse Foods, a company that shut a plant in 2006, which was staffed primarily by low-paid Hispanics. In Iowa recently, Senator Barack Obama denounced the pain that is caused by outrageous health care bills, saying, "We are not a country that rewards hard work and perseverance with bankruptcies and foreclosures." This is not the first time Senator Obama has talked passionately about the threat to people who cannot afford to pay outrageous health care bills. In 2005, he said, "Hospitals terrorize the uninsured." On this issue alone, Barack Obama could have made a difference, but instead, he chose to stand by silently as many not-for-profit hospitals, including his own, made huge profits by price gouging the uninsured. Over the past 2 years, his hospital, the University of Chicago Hospitals, has spent over $10 million on collection fees in an attempt to terrorize people, many who are uninsured, into paying bills that have been marked up far beyond cost. That's right. When it comes to the uninsured, this hospital marks up their actual costs by 350%. And this is one of the few hospitals left in the entire country that refuses to provide a discount to the uninsured. How easy it would have been for Barack Obama to get that policy changed, which would have made health care more affordable immediately for hundreds, if not thousands, of his neighbors. Allowing this immoral practice to continue has been very beneficial to this not-for-profit hospital, as in 2005, they reported making a record profit of over $100 million, a record that they are on pace to shatter this year. While Senator Obama has criticized, and rightfully so, the excessive profits being made by pharmaceutical companies and large insurance companies, he has done nothing about the excessive profits being made by not-for-profit hospitals by their price-gouging uninsured patients. While he is a critic of excessive CEO compensation, he did nothing when the former CEO of his hospital walked out the door with over $4.58 million in compensation. When his fellow Democrat, the Attorney General of Illinois, demanded hospitals like this one provide more charity care, he did nothing. Maybe, just maybe, the fact that this hospital that employs his wife used some of those obscene profits to increase his wife's total compensation by almost $200,000 a year shortly after he was sworn in has something to do with his lack of any real effort on behalf of the uninsured. Or maybe he's done nothing about these abuses because the executives at this hospital have provided him with over $100,000 in campaign contributions over the past few years. Whatever the reason, the fact is, while he continues to speak about the need for affordable health care, he has done absolutely nothing to make it more so. Confucius said that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Barack Obama's journey toward actually making health care more affordable will begin when he takes a step down the street to the hospital where his wife works and demands that they stop terrorizing the uninsured and instead treat them with respect.
Tonight I say to the people of America, to Democrats and Republicans and independents across this great land, enough! It's time for us to change America. People of Berlin and people of the world, we are heirs to a struggle for freedom. Let us remember this history and answer our destiny and remake the world once again. Thank you, Berlin. Thank you, Berlin. Thank you, Berlin. Thank you.
New York columnist George Will pointed out that modern Berlin rose from rubble that was the result of the last attempt at remaking the world. The world has had enough of charismatic speakers who hid their real agenda until it was too late.
Listen to me very carefully, okay? You're not a Terminator anymore, all right? You got that? You just can't go around killing people.
I called on Congress to help me.
You just can't, okay? Trust me on this.
That's why I asked Congress to reinstate the authority that...
Millions of years ago, ravenous beasts roamed the earth.
All right, let me move on and ask you about Newt Gingrich. He's running for the Republican nomination as well. He was here in the Situation Room yesterday, and he strongly disagrees with you when it comes to President Obama's decision to order the killing of Anwar al-Awlaki in Yemen. Now listen to what the former speaker told me.
The fact is, Congressman Paul is wrong about the law. He's wrong about the Constitution. And the president was exactly right legally, and he was exactly right morally in killing somebody who was a threat to everybody.
All right, so go ahead and respond to Newt Gingrich.
I'd ask him to read the Fifth Amendment. It's pretty clear that you can't take a life without due process of law, especially of an American citizen. So I would say that he's way off base. This is historic. We've never had a policy that said that we can put somebody on an assassination list by a secret tribunal, so to speak. We don't even know what the qualification is or the criteria to put somebody on this list. I think this is a most dangerous precedent, and respect for the Constitution and the rule of law needs to be looked at, because I think we have lost a lot of it. I consider this one of the most dangerous things that we have done, and this president has done it in the opening. He announced this policy in February of last year. I gave a speech on the House floor shortly thereafter advising how dangerous this was, and this means that we have very much violated the whole concept of the rule of law.
Because Newt Gingrich, in defending the president's decision, says Anwar al-Awlaki was an enemy combatant of the United States, and over all the years of warfare, the U.S. has been able to kill so-called enemy combatants. So what do you make of that argument?
Well, I would ask him and the president to produce some evidence of exactly what he did and why is he an enemy, what are the charges. And, you know, if we can try Adolf Eichmann, the Israelis tried him in 1961, don't you think we could try somebody like al-Awlaki, or at least, recognize that individuals should be captured when possible and tried? But this enemy combatant, anybody can, the word I think has already been used is that he was a threat. I think Gingrich used that word, a threat. Well, I'm anti-war, and I might go to an anti-war rally, and what if the administration said Ron Paul is a threat? Somebody in the media, he's a threat. He's preaching that the government is doing wrong with the foreign policy. This, to me, is a very, very dangerous precedent.
So would you support articles of impeachment against President Obama for this decision?
I haven't introduced them, but I think it's an impeachable offense. If the mood of the country was such that they wanted to do it, yes, I could support that.
Ron Paul, Republican presidential candidate, as usual, thanks very much for coming in.
Okay, well.
And I write about this whole debate over the killing of Anwar al-Awlaki.